Hello Commanders, Pro-Tah-Zzio back with another video, and this time we're featuring a 3v3 battle in the Sandbox version of Art of War 3 for the heroes testing. So that's right, you heard it, 3v3. So let's go ahead and take a look who we'll be teamed up with and who we're up against with. So on the resistance side, it's gonna be Ming as the green player, Michael 12 from Elite Latina as the red player, and Pro Gamer AOW3 as the yellow. On the Confederation side, it's gonna be Damar O as the blue player from Philippines AOW3, Ileana, the light green player from That's My Story, and Ssadier as the purple player. So let's see what happens. So I'll be positioned in the middle of the map, and red player will be on the bottom left hand corner and the yellow player will be on the bottom right hand corner. So my take on this is, since I'm in the front, I'll be the one to initially engage with the enemy. So what I'll do is I'll quickly set up a good perimeter defense so that my allies would not be immediately accessible to an attack from the enemy players. So let's go ahead and see here. Just your usual opening, a few supply centers, upgrade of HQ, power supply, a couple of barracks, and an assault vehicle factory. I immediately put down 2 sniper towers just down the hill, so I'll be able to gain good vision in the middle of the map. So a bit of a contest here and there in supply collection, but overall I think each faction had about 50% of the containers on ground. A little engagement here from the yellow player, so I'll be taking that container, and as you can see, the purple player decided to put down his barracks just down the hill, I think so that he'll be able to immediately have his infantry positioned well to collect containers. As we can see here, nothing really crazy happening right now, just the players setting their bases up. So yellow and red opted to go for navy. I guess they would just be collecting naval containers in order to advance further. So looks like the blue and the purple player was able to position themselves well here to collect that big container. So I wouldn't be joining the fight anymore, since it's not gonna be worth it on my side. Yellow player here already has a wasp and will be collecting that big container on the right side. So he's also proceeding to collect more naval containers on the right side, as well as I think he's trying to get a scout here. So let's take a look on the left side. Red player is also doing the same. He's collecting the naval containers and will also proceed to scout the enemy base if they have a navy. So yellow player here just outright disrespects that torpedo platform and nabs that container. So red player here moving forward. Let's see, why did he stop? We don't know. And as you can see, I'm also upgrading my HQ to level 3 so that I'll have access to more buildings and more units. So red player decides to go in and sees that the blue player also has a naval shipyard and will proceed to put a mine in front of the entrance. So you can see nothing crazy, nothing really crazy happening. It's like everyone is trying to take it slow, sweet, and steady. See here, nothing really crazy going on. Looks like each player is also, or all the players are starting to get a foothold on what they want to do once the time to engage comes. So what I'll be doing is I'll just act as a defensive player here. Just gonna cover the approach in the middle. So yellow player is asking me to produce vehicles, which I'll be doing. So I went ahead and scouted all 3 Confederation players with that dragonfly. Looks like the light green player is gonna opt for hammers. Blue player here doesn't really tell us what he's going with his build order, but the purple player will be going for Avia. So small engagements here and there. So that dragonfly is being left alone. Yellow player asking me to scout the HQs, and now they started to get on that dragonfly. Yellow player is advising that he's gonna go for bombers, so he'll be going Avia, full Avia on the lower right hand corner. So I'm going with a mix of vehicles and dragonflies, and let's see here. So I'm already going up to HQ4, and my hero factory is being upgraded to level 2 to get access to the mole, and looks like the red player opted for full navy. Yellow player asking me to fall back, not to engage for now, and looks like he's going for a bombing run. Boom! He destroys that X facility. So purple player wouldn't have access to heroes for quite some time, and as we can see, he's going full Avia. Looks like the purple player is also opting for bombers, since we haven't seen any vertex fly yet. So mole is being produced to help out with establishing defenses with those ground units. Nothing crazy so far. Looks like the purple player decides to take it out on me, even though I wasn't the one that bombed him, and he decides that he wants that gun tower out of there. So I'll be replacing the destroyed gun towers with 2 new ones, but this time it's gonna be up the hill. So yellow player here decides that it's payback time and destroys both of those airfields by force. And as we can see, we got a free scout on the light green player as well, and he's opting for a full ground assault on the right side. So red player here has amassed a ton of naval units, and looks like he's getting ready to advance anytime soon. So blue player here opted for tons of cyclones bullying my wasp, so I had to pull my wasp back out. Don't know why that red player put up walls, since those are cyclones. Don't think there's gonna be any wall too high to stop them from their approach. Alligators gets scouted, but nothing too crazy. Those cyclones will be dealt with easily by those alligators. And the light green player here decides that he wants that big container and shows the full length of his army. So it looks like the blue player opted for full cyclones, a few delta and a few infantry units, and the red player being seen or spotted now decides that it's now or never. He's advancing with his naval units now. So the thing here in this map is that middle has to be the defensive player, so he should be opting for ground units and defenses, so that he'll be able to cover all 3 approaches to their bases. So yellow player here tries to do a blind bombing run, but didn't realize that the light green players' units have already advanced. So we're gonna see a bit of an engagement here. Alligators doing what they can or wreaking havoc here on the upper left hand portion and the blue player's base. And looks like he was not able to or it looks like the blue player was not able to set up any kind of defenses on the naval side. Just a couple of torpedo platforms. So purple player tries to take out my avia factory, but it's just too tough for 4 Thors, and that's only a level 1 avia factory. So if you time that anti-air or that gold air raid, it's really gonna nerf the damage of any avia or enemy area units. So looks like the red player is gonna cripple the blue player now by destroying most of his bases. Yellow player here asking for help, doing the SOS thing. He has a chameleon and a bunch of units to engage that hammer shield composition of the light green player. Does a sweet bombing run in the middle of those units, and I drop my devastation just after that. So the HP of the light green player's units will be cut down to very low. So as we can see here, my Leviathan is doing a good round on those light green units. My Wasp is taking the brunt of the damage, and I'm pulling my ground units to the right side. Light green player tries his best to take out buildings, but the airfields were way hidden inside the base, so he would not be able to reach there. Red player decides to launch a devastation from his Leviathan, but didn't really hit anything. Purple player here trying to assist and bombing those buildings, only taking out a couple of barracks. So my Leviathan is pushing all those units back and gets the score on that light green player's Solaris. And I'm also gonna take out a few more units, a few Typhoons, a Zeus, and here comes another bombing run from the yellow player. Takes out the airfields of the purple player again. So it looks like the purple player just now saw where the airfields were and didn't have enough time to refuel those Thors to first bomb those first bomb the yellow player's airfields before the yellow player bombs his. So as we can see, all units have been recalled to their respective bases, but looks like the blue player is already out of commission and has been terrorized by those alligators. So yellow player here freely advances his albatrosses and takes care of those factories. Boom. 3 factories taken out. I'm trying to do my own advancement here. I'm moving forward with jaguars, porcupines, dragonflies, and mammoths. So light green player sees that and tries to seize that advantage or that moment there. I get bombed here. Good job on those on the purple player side. Very good bombing run on those Thors, and I decided to pull my units or the remainder of my units here on the right hand portion of the map. Just leave a few to continue attacking the purple player's base, and my mammoths are doing good work on those enemy factories. So Leviathan engages most of the light green players units by his own, but Mole here decides that he wants a part of that glory as well and stands in front of all the enemy units, and that actually stops the Solaris in its tracks, focusing fire on the Mole, which works for me given that my mammoths were quite exposed to fire from that Solaris. So the Solaris does a quick job on my mammoths, once he sees the opportunity. Red player misses the devastation skill there. Yellow player, oh, that was actually the yellow player's devastation earlier. The red player just released his devastation skill now, but doesn't really hit anything. So the devastation skill has to be timed real good. Most of the time you should have the Leviathan up the hill, stop it from firing first, and then drop the devastation skill, so that the enemies wouldn't expect that the Leviathan up the hill would be dropping a nuclear missile in the middle of their units. So I do the same thing, drop my devastation skill. I put it a bit advanced from where the current position of those light green players units were, so I was able to get a solid hit on those units. So 2 Leviathans doing a quick round on those yellow player or the light green players units in this base. Also tries to chip away on the purple players base as well, while I'm providing support with mammoths, dragonflies, and the wasp here in the middle. Looks like the red Leviathan was pulled out. Yellow Leviathan will continue to attack there as well, along with the remainder of my army. So another devastation skill got dropped, and looks like we're gonna see a nuclear missile from the red player. So here in the sandbox, since everything's maxed out, I don't really want to opt for any super weapons, since if the enemy player would be able to time it with a gold defense, it's only going to put the buildings down to low health. It may be able to take out some administrative buildings such as power supplies or any supply centers, but normally if you drop a super weapon, you want to drop it in the most critical part of the base where the factories are. So you want to hit airfields, vehicle factories, special vehicle factories, and avia factories, since that's where it matters most. So as we can see, a good combo there from my wasp and my Leviathan, dropping the corrosive acid skill and then being followed up by the devastation in order to really or effectively destroy those units. So as I was saying earlier, in this map, the middle player should opt for defenses, ground units, and a mix of a few avia units if you want to go Hawks Vertex, or if you just want to go with Cyclone or Dragonflies, that's also okay. But you should also have tons of anti-air, either produce or either build anti-air defenses or build produce porcupines and or typhoons, depending on faction, of course. And another nuclear missile here cleans up tons of those buildings. Wow, wasn't expecting that. So yellow player proceeding to bomb the light green player's base. So we're just doing the cleanup right now. So whoever will be set up at the back should go with a mix of navy and avia, or you can go with a mix of navy and ground units, so that you'll be able to support whoever is in the middle when it comes, or when time comes for an engagement. So I think the players, or the Confederation players, weren't really coordinating on who's gonna do who, or who's gonna take up which role. That's why they found it hard to defend against our attacks. Alright, so just a quick reminder, when it comes to a 3v3 battle, depending on where you'll be positioned, you should immediately know your role. A lot of factors may also come into play, such as upgrade skill cards. So I think you must have a balanced upgrade in terms of units, buildings, and defenses. I think you should also have a balance upgrade on those so that you'll be able to perform effectively in terms of 3v3 wherever you'll be positioned. Because if you'll have a focused upgrade on certain units or certain buildings, if you would be positioned in the opposite of the focus of your upgrades, if your role calls for the opposite position, then you may not be able to perform well. Congratulations on making it to the end of my video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to my channel so that you'll be notified whenever there's new content for Art of War battles, replays, and or tips in the future, hopefully. So stick around, and good luck on the battlefield.